All right. Hey guys, welcome to our live Zoom call. And this is going to be the first of a few calls that we will most likely do following this program, the 2B Mindset. So if you're just jumping on or if you're seeing this somewhere else and you're not part of this group, welcome. My name is Meredith Campbell and I am with one of my favorite coaches, Stacy Whipple. Stacy, you want to say hi? So Stacy and I have joined forces together to really just help a group of people. And so if you're in this group, you know that we're checking in daily and we're sharing our videos and we're sharing what we're doing. So we're really only just beginning. And the 2B mindset, the whole idea behind it is not that it's not a diet. It's not a plan that is start to finish. It is a lifestyle. It is a way to live. It is just learning about your body, learning what types of foods you need, and just losing weight the right way, doing simple things. So just to kind of cover over what the 2B mindset stands for, and it really started with two concepts over here and two concepts over here. So water first and veggies most. Those are your things. So you're always having water before you have a meal. And we talk a lot about what's the right amount of water, ways to incorporate water into your current lifestyle. And I'm going to avoid saying the word diet because I think a lot of us get confused. Like, I'm following this diet, but it's not a diet. It's a lifestyle. And that's the beauty part of the 2B mindset, is that if you want to go out and have a donut, you shouldn't have to feel guilty and horrible and you're a bad person because you did. Or if you're going to have a glass of wine, or if you're going to go to a barbecue on Memorial Day and have a beer, you shouldn't feel horrible about doing that. You should just know how you can live a lifestyle where you can lose weight, and that will work. So veggies, so water first is the biggest thing. And that's where you're drinking lots of water. I know I have mine. I have my big old thing, my mom cup. I just need a minivan to go along with it, I feel like. But I won't drive a minivan. I say that now. I used to drive one. But so I have my big cup of water. I drink at least 2 of those in the first thing in the morning. And I'll tell people that. And a lot of people are like, oh, that's too much. I can't drink that much water. But we're going to show you ways that you can do that. And maybe not do it the way that I do it or the way that Stacy does it. What's one way that you get more water in daily?
I make sure I drink half my body weight in ounces, and I just, like, first thing in the morning, I have that empty water bottle ready to fill up. And I usually work out in the morning, so I fill it up, I put it in the fridge, and when I leave the house or work out, it's ready to go for me. And I always just have water bottles nearby, or I can refill the one that I filled up that morning.
So it's kind of like your purse. Like, you always take a water bottle with you, just like you would a purse.
Never without it.
Right. And I think that's a great thing to follow. Being a mom, and you're a mom of 2 as well, but I have younger children, and I'm always the bottles for the kids and the this and the that. And you always forget about yourself. But if you pack your kids' drinks, or if you're preparing for them to leave the house and getting them set up for the day, we should do the same thing for us. And in fact, I might get a little backlash for saying this, but we should put ourselves first. Just like if you were in an airplane, you put your mask on first so you can save others. So that's one thing. Veggies most, and we'll talk more about the veggies, but this was a great concept because there's a lot of great veggies out there that give lots of crunch and flavor, and ways that you can take. For instance, one of my favorite things is taking what are those little baby bell peppers and slicing them in half and using them as chips for things like guacamole or salsas, or making kind of a nachos out of them, if you will, instead of having tortilla chips. And that's I love it because who doesn't love nachos? I mean, I do, but what's one healthier way of eating them? So that's one thing that we talk about, is the veggies most. Now, the next concept we'll get into in this one is the bunny over here. So we just talked about the food part, water and more veggies, but this part right here is a little different. This is going to be where a lot of the magic happens, because you want to be tracking. And one of these things that I have a hard time with, and I'm going to be very transparent with, is the first one is weighing yourself daily, and number 2 is tracking. I have a hard time with weighing myself daily. And this comes from after I lost a lot of baby weight with my first son. The second time around, it was different. I was in a different state of mind. I was in a different lifestyle, meaning I had another little baby to take care of, and I had this baby, and we had some other things going on in our family where there were a lot of days in a row that I never put myself first. And so as my body started to change, because I documented all of this, and you can go through my YouTube channel and check it out, but I documented all this. And as I got closer and closer to my weight, my body was changing, things were changing, but my weight didn't change as much. And I lost the initial, 40 pounds, and then kind of just lingered there with those 10 pounds. And I always thought, oh, when I stop nursing, that's when the final 10 will come off. And I stopped nursing and it didn't come off. And it had to be something else that I had to do differently. So for me as a mindset, the past year and a half, because now my baby's 2, just a little over 2, I've put that scale away and just, okay, I'm not just a scale. But so that's in one thing that, I have been incorporating back in myself. And I know, Stacey, you and I have had this conversation before. You weigh yourself daily.
I do, every morning.
Is that something that, like, you're like, oh man, I was this weight and now I'm this weight? Like, do you struggle seeing those numbers?
No. So I do it for maintenance, and that is it. Like, I'm not obsessive compulsive about, oh my gosh, I gained 2 pounds. It's just more like after I go to a Japanese steakhouse with my family, because that's what we love to go, I do notice my weight's up 2 or 3 pounds for about 2 or 3 days. And because of all the sodium, it comes down. But it's just to keep me on track, because I love to eat just like everybody else. And I noticed I like my treats. I have a sweet tooth. And if I notice the scale went up a couple pounds, even just 3 or 4 pounds, nothing major, I'm like, okay, I just will pull back on some of the extra sweets for the next week until I hit that weight that I like to kind of maintain.
Right.
So it doesn't have to be perfect. It's just to keep me accountable and as another tool to use.
Right. Because I think that's important for people to realize that your weight is going to fluctuate a couple pounds, and that's okay if you're doing this to maintain. You're doing this for weight loss, then you can really see like what's working and what's not. So another example, my husband will weigh himself every day. And I'm like, so what? Yesterday you went running and you ran like 12 miles, and then you did this. And then, we'll have a weekend where we're out on the boat and he only ran 8 miles that weekend, and maybe had an extra IPA or whatever, and he'll notice the same thing with his weight. Like, it will go up a couple pounds, but then it quickly goes back down. And so that's just something. I think it's a habit that I think it's a great tool to use. This, when I first over like about 15 years ago, when I started getting into the fitness industry, if you will, I was weighing myself every day. And I remember those just checks and balances. So I think that's one thing that I struggle with, just seeing the number, and I've gotten away from that. But I'm going to get back into it. I'm going to try. So the final one is tracking. And this one is so important, because if you're going to be tracking, it's a great way for you to see where you were and what your plan is. If you fail to plan, typically you're planning to fail. By all means, we want you living your life. And if you go out to dinner with a bunch of people and you're like, I shouldn't have a glass of wine, or I shouldn't have a bite of that dessert, or, this delicious thing that everyone's having, and I shouldn't eat that. And it just makes you feel a little bit better and part of society just by having one bite or one sip, then by all means, do it. This is your life. We don't want you to be miserable doing this, but we do want you to see the results. So those mindless eating, the mindless snacking, I noticed I was catching myself just being a mom of 2 little ones and putting snacks out for them and just dabbing in a little bit and just not realizing what I was putting in my mouth. And after I focused on just a few weeks of this, I just felt cleaner, more lightheaded, and I could kind of focus on what I was eating on a day-to-day basis versus the mindless eating, if you will.
Yeah, and Meredith, I think combining the tracker and the scale for weight loss can be great, because if they do have that that treat at dinner with your family, and then you weigh yourself, you're like, that piece, those 5 bites of the chocolate cake really didn't set me back. I can still have that. The scale maintains. And so, okay, I can keep that in my life and stay on my weight loss journey.
Right. And I think that's so important to see, like, if it's your son's graduation and, he's 18, he's graduating from high school, and you want to have a piece of the delicious cake and from the party that you've shelled out money to have, like, do it. That's lifestyle. That's not what's going to gain weight. It's the little things that we do every day. It's the constant drinking, heavy caloric, like things that have like the sugary drinks, the sodas, those things, when we take those out and replace them with water, and the things of the snacking and the very high carby processed foods, even the things that claim that they're healthy. And we'll get into that more reading labels. So, all right, so let's go on. So first we kind of shared a little bit what's working for us and what's working for our weight loss and for our meals and any other tips that we've discovered. But the next thing we're going to do is whip out our tracker, and we're going to go over that. So we're going to check out the My Week at a Glance. And this is the first time that we're filling this out, right?
Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything, because I was like, man, I didn't track this week. And then I'm like, oh no, this was the week that we start tracking. So good. It's been on my desk. And the last thing that we're going to do is discuss any bumps in the road that you might have, bring up some scenarios, or review our trackers from if you did start tracking last week or if you were just tracking this week. And by all means, if you're doing this for maintenance, it might seem like, okay, I just want to maintain through the summer months, so I'm not getting out of like all crazy like me. It's for me, I don't know about you guys, but it's end of the year. It seems like party season. The weather's a little bit nicer. I feel like there's more events. There's always something going on. So just a way to track it and not go overboard every single week. All right, so let's take out our journals. So if you have the To Be Mindset, you have the My Tracker journal, and we're actually going over the My Week at a Glance. So looks like this. What I love about this is that you just can write down simple goals. So there is an example here that Alana goes over, and Alana is the creator of the To Be Mindset. So you just have a week at a glance. So what does your week look like? And this is brilliant because you can kind of itemize things out by Monday, what your breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack looks like, also any appointments. So if you know you're going to have a busy week, and if you're in the mom life, like Stacy and I, are your children out of school yet?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
They're
So
not.
it started.
Mm-hmm.
Summer. Dun, dun, dun. I think it's amazing. Like, we all want that break, but then at the same time, it's like, what do we do? So it is summertime, so there's other things going on. So we really have to be scheduled with our activities. Maybe you want to have, those neighborhood barbecues on whatever, Tuesday nights, or have friends over at the pool, but you're not eating the unhealthy things over and over and over again. Something else that you can do. So kind of plan it ahead. So you do this through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then you can kind of look over the My Day overview. And what's great about this is there is little spots to track how much water you're having and how much water you should have. So do you have what water bottle are you drinking out of?
So right now it's just a regular water bottle, because I used my other one, the 30 ouncer for the To Be Mindset. I used it this morning in class. So
okay.
I have to clean it.
Yeah, no, that's okay. And I have that too. I love that one because it's 30 ounces and you can fill it up. If your goal is 3 times a day, I think it makes it a lot easier to follow along with. So let's kind of go over, and just kind of fill this out real quickly. So I'm going to go over, we're going to start for like this week and what we've already done.
Yeah.
Midweek, but I think it's okay.
Yeah, I filled out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday
Okay, perfect.
this week. And the way I did it was, I put the date for Monday, which was Memorial Day, how much I weighed, total loss, how many hours of sleep I got. It asks, what is my goal water intake? And then how much did I actually drink? Your mindset, how are you feeling that morning? I wrote down what I had for breakfast. I'll just go through that day in particular. So for breakfast, I had 2 beach bars and black coffee. And then I had that at 7 a.m. for lunch. We did go to Red Robin, so I ate out. I had the grilled chicken salad with ranch dressing and 2 small pieces of garlic bread with water to drink. For my snack, I had the snack in between breakfast and lunch at 9:30. I had a Shakeology with water and ice. For dinner, we cooked out at the house. I had a filet steak, 2 mini corn on the cobs with that spray butter on it. So I actually wrote what accessory I used. I also had some spinach that we cooked up in that spray butter again. And then of course, my sweets. I have this big bag of M&Ms leftover from like a Valentine's party at my kid's school. And it's a big bag that we did a straw game with anyway. So I actually weighed out 1.5 ounces, which is a serving of M&Ms, which is like 200 calories. I'm like, okay, I want more. So I did 2 of those. I weighed them out and then I was done. And it was a rest day for exercise. So exercise extra credit is on here. It asks me, and it was my rest day. And why today was great. It was family time. I swim with my kids. And it even asks you if you pooped today. So I actually didn't fill that out. But it's important.
It's very important. It's very important.
So like corn, for example, the 2 mini corn on the cobs are my FFCs, my fiber-filled carbs. And that would have helped me with the poop question. So that was that day. So my family, we do eat out a lot. Like even yesterday, we had Chick-fil-A for lunch, and I did choose a salad, the grilled chicken Southwest salad with the chili lime vinaigrette. So I actually wrote down what kind of dressing I had with it, and even what I drank with that.
That's great. And it's so, I think the more detail that you have in there, the better. Mm-hmm. There was did you post this in a group? I think there was, on average, a typical person will spend nowadays, today in 2018, 116 minutes a day on social media, a day, which is, that's just the honest truth of it. I mean, that's what people are doing when you're waiting in the car line, you're scrolling through your phone, whether it be an app or a social media app or Pinterest or whatever you're looking at, that's what you're doing. So you can take 2 minutes to fill this out. And if you really want to see the results and see what this can do for you longevity wise, this is going to be such a game changer and just a great way for you to see what you're doing and is it working? Like Stacey, you mentioned you eat out. How often do you eat out a week?
We probably, whether it's a sit down dinner or fast food, which we try to stay with like Chick-fil-A or healthier options, but probably at least 5 times a week, which is a lot. It's probably way too much, but we do.
But that's the thing. Like, it's way too much for who? It's your life, it's your lifestyle. So, we don't eat out very much. We went out to eat the other day. We probably eat out like twice a month. And we're like, whoa, we used to eat out all the time and we loved it, but we got to enjoy it less and less as our little ones. We're just in a little stage right now where people are still licking the plates inappropriately at restaurants. And it's just, for my husband and I to get away at this stage, it's way more enjoyable.
Yeah.
We'll just put it that way. We're just at it. It's a season. So, I think that, there is no wrong way. It's just, how are you going to live your life and what are you doing right now today to be healthier?
One more thing about eating out. So I typically order the same thing though when I go to those restaurants. So I'm not trying like the latest Alfredo special. Oh, I'll try the you know, extra cheesy, extra carby tacos. Like I always choose the healthier options at those restaurants, and I'm pretty consistent with what I order. So I know I can have this at Chipotle, you know, the burrito bowl and what I get in it, and still, you know, stay on track.
Okay, so let me ask you this. What do you do for special occasions? Say a birthday.
Oh, I'll eat the cake. I'll
Yeah.
have a piece of cake and scoop of ice cream for sure. But those are treats. You know, we all need them, but I know I can have that and stay on track.
Okay.
Yep.
What do you do about, I don't know if because how old are your children now?
9 and 11.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So
Mhm.
you're in a different season.
Mhm.
I'm on the birthday party circuit right now where like everyone goes to a birthday party almost every other weekend. And sometimes we have 2 or 3 and the kids love it. And we're also at the stage where it's for us parents, we're going to like kind of socialize and mingle with the other parents because ultimately like these might be our friends the next 10 years because our kids are all hanging out. So you want to know who your kids are hanging out with. And the other reason why we go to birthday parties, you know, but like it's not one of those like drop the kids off and leave them there. It's we have to stay. So we're still kind of at that phase where like we're served pizza and cake like at least once or twice a week. What did you do in that? Do you remember those stages?
Yeah, I said no, thank you.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have it at everyone and at every single party because I was at a lot of parties just like you were, whether it's a birthday party, any kind of event. I mean, I do have it sometimes, but like if it's 3 birthday parties in 1 week or even 5 birthday parties in 1 month, I just say no thanks. And most people are like, we're fine with it.
Yeah, they're totally, I mean, my experience is like totally fine. Like, I mean, I'm the same way. It's just easier to order pizza and have it there for the kids and, you know, cake. It's just easier that way. Does that mean parents have to eat it? No. I mean,
and I think what helps with that is that 2 hands on the wheel theory. I don't think we've gotten to that yet with
right.
Alana, but it is have something in your hands, have the water bottle, have a seltzer water in your hand so that you're not tempted. You're busy already. You
right.
A plate of veggies and water, you're good.
Right. And so just to kind of put this in more of like an adult socializing situation, my husband had to take this medicine where he couldn't have any alcohol for like a month or whatever, you know, like not a big deal. Like we don't need alcohol. We're social people. We enjoy it. So we're at a couple events where he did exactly that instead of, you know, being like stuck to the wall where he's like, I can't talk to anybody. He was ordered a salsa water with some lime or whatever it was and kind of carried that around. And so he was socializing as like when we were out with other adults and no one even questioned it. Like it wasn't even a big deal. And I know people that were, I mean, the same thing goes back to like the mindfulness of just being, you can socialize.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that's one of my biggest things is when somebody is making a life change to be healthier and trying to lose weight and they're like, oh no, I can't go to that. I can't do that event. I can't be with them. And you can, because they're not asking you to go there and gorge yourself on whatever, you know, anyone else is. They're asking you to go there because it's you, because they want to be with you and hang out with you because you're unique. And that's what this life is all about, is about being with more people and socializing. So I think it's important to know that this is not one of those plans that is going to keep you strapped at home and you can't do anything because you're following the 2B mindset. This is a lifestyle plan.
And also with the tracking, like you said, of all the time we put on social media or whatever, it takes, and I'm guilty of it too. That's where I struggle, is the tracking. I'm good with the water first, the veggies most, and using the scale daily, the tracking. I'm a little lax on, but that I think is because I'm a creature of habit. I know I'm eating the same 12 to 15 things every week. So I know I'm kind of good and safe with those things. Of course, I go off track every once in a while, but I stay pretty consistent. So I don't get too crazy with trying, 30 different recipes.
Right.
In a month.
And I loved how you mentioned, like, you know, I'm not trying the Alfredo sauce at the heavy, you know, or the heavy this at the restaurant, or the newest dish or whatever. But, you know, to me, like, I think that's, my husband and I talk about this, like, we love eating vegan. We love eating, you know, and just eating like a certain way, but those types of like lifestyle longevity for us, like we want to be able to travel and go to different places and somebody's cooking up something. We want to be able to have a bite of it and not feel guilty and not be like, oh no, we don't eat that, you know, but just be like, oh yeah, like, and just have a bite, taste it, remember that moment, have that memory in there, and then let it be, like, because and that can even go into like the different cultures of Americans, the way we eat, where we're like buffets and shoving plates of food in our mouth versus, you know, the European lifestyle where everyone just kind of has a bite and a sip and then that's it. It's different, you know, it's a different way of socializing and being.
Yeah. And I love a hard copy. I still keep my schedule on like a big calendar in my kitchen, and I don't have anything kind of calendar on, I mean, a little bit on my phone, but nothing scheduled on there. I love writing it down. It makes me more accountable than having like an app to put it in, which, you know, I think if it works for you, fine. But this for me, and for most people, I think it's going to be really helpful.
Right. And I agree. I think the hard copy is, you know, it's the something about having like pen or pencil to paper and just writing it down. The same goes for your goals, your this, you know, and having, you know, it on digital as well. But especially when you're getting started, it's like, it's a study. It means something, you know, much like doing a Bible study or, you know, studying at school, like you pen to paper notes. So good. All right. Well, let's do this. I think we'll schedule another one of these in a couple weeks and kind of go over and see where we've come from, what we've learned, and what we can work better on.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Thank you, Stacey, for jumping on and for your time and for all of your input. I think I got a lot of great tips from you just learning this and just seeing in the group the things that you're posting. You know, even if we know we're living the best we can, there's always something that we can do, because at the end of the day, our bodies want to go towards that positive light and towards gratitude and towards, you know, even if there's something negative going on in our lives, we always want the positive things. So having somebody like Stacey posting in the group consistently, it's such an amazing thing to have you there. So thank you so much for jumping on. And we will see you guys in the group. And if you haven't joined us already, you can contact Stacey or myself. You can find us at myonlinefitclub.com. And I'll post that in the links below this video. So myonlinefitclub.com. Awesome, guys. Thank you and have a great day.